Hello, this is Blue Star, Defender of Equestria. This is my next Commander's Log for Elite Dangerous Distant Worlds 3, Waypoint 10. Roar! Things have actually been kinda quiet the last couple waypoints, but it's actually been kinda nice. So, roar! While I'm recording this video, I am actually jumping through the jumps towards the next waypoint, waypoint 11, but actually I kind of waited like a day after the carrier's moving, so I'm only doing like half the jumps, so which, let's just say, this might work out better for me, so But anyway, on to what happened during waypoints 9 and 10, and story-wise, I think it's been quiet. There actually really wasn't anything that happened during those, waypoints, but it was, in some ways, kind of nice. I could go off and explore, do exobiology and stuff, and definitely a big thing is that now there's a lot more stars in this area of space because we're actually starting to move back towards the bubble, basically where humanity is and all those sorts of things. There haven't been any Metal Elite missions, so there hasn't been any story per se. That there weren't any other big events other than like rallies and those sorts of things. I actually did attempt to participate in one of the rallies, because let's just say I attempted to participate in one before and it did not end well, so yeah, that was one of those. Level of difficulty might have been a little bit too up there because that was on a crazy high G planet and just landing there was tough, but yeah, I don't want to talk about it. But anyway, I participated with the SRV rally on Waypoint 9, and what this is that basically you land on a planet and then you deploy your SRV and then you use this third-party application, which I use an awful lot for a lot of different things, called ED Copilot, where it basically has these time trial courses that you can go to, and it'll direct you to go to this point and that point and this point, and it basically logs your time and all those sorts of things, so it's actually pretty cool. This race was a pretty long one. It took me 37 minutes to complete, but I'm glad that I participated, that I tried it, and I spun out a whole bunch of times. I had to repair my SRV like 2 or 3 times, but I managed to get in 35th place when I completed it, so I will take it. But in any case, that was actually pretty fun, and the view from the finish line was definitely worth it. So, roar! But yeah, during waypoint 9 and 10, I pretty much just explored stuff. I scanned alien plants. I ranked up my exobiology rank a little bit. The other thing about interesting waypoint 10 was that it was in this system that actually had neutron stars, black holes. At least one of the neutron stars had rings around it. And while there was no tritium in those particular rings, I could at least say that I went and mined a tritium star. So, roar, but on a personal note, there was one kind of special moment, is that I finally discovered an Earth-like world! Yay! In this game, as an explorer, finding and discovering an Earth-like world is almost the quote-unquote, like, the thing that every explorer wants to do, and sometimes it could take ages to do. And I do have to say, there was definitely luck involved, but at the same time, I finally discovered an Earth-like world for the first time, so roar! I haven't decided what I shall name it, but after getting this idea from an AI prompt, I kind of like the idea of naming the primary continent after Blue Star. But in any case, really, it's like, yay! I found an Earth-like world that makes me so happy. So, yay! Because that's really the thing that, it's all about exploring, is that you never know. There's definitely things that you can do to increase the odds in your favor, but there's definitely an element of luck in all of this. So, when you do find something amazing, it's just like, roar, yes! So yeah, that was definitely an exciting development, so roar. Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, I'm glad that we had the opportunity to do a lot more exploring, but I think personally, it's like, let's just say, there were other things that kind of took precedence in some way, shall we say, and I didn't get to explore as much as I would have liked. But that totally made up for it, so roar. So in some ways, there's really not much more to talk about. I almost want to talk about the ship I'm using now, the Morning Star Victory, a little bit. There's a number of explorer ships the Anaconda for a while was basically the big explorer ship because basically it had the right jump range when you engineered it properly. So yeah, this ship I've done actually a fair amount of exploration in, especially when I want to do long distance stuff, which is why I'm using it now, that this ship has the greatest jump range of any ship in my fleet, so it will hopefully cut down on the number of jumps that I have to do. I'm gonna say this for my regular subscribers who are probably wondering how does this game work, because basically how this works is that you jump from one star to the other rather than like quote-unquote travel in between, because well, there's nothing there. Why would you? Why would you want to? Basically pick a location on the galaxy map and then it determines how many jumps you need to do based on basically the current jump range of your ship. So if you have more jump range, you will require less jumps, therefore taking less time. I guess briefly is also, it's like some other ships. Obviously, you know the Morning Star. The Mandalay, the Morning Star S, originally meant it for like surface because it was actually one of the first new ships to actually be designed specifically to land on planets. It has, I would say, the most overall, versatility. It's got really good jump range, but has the ability to land on planets a lot easier than a big ship like the Anaconda. But my personal favorite is still the Morning Star. It has, like the third highest jump range now of all the Explorer ships, but it has the ability to land on planets and places that even the Mandalay would struggle with, so rawr. And briefly onto my miners, because those are the other ships I'm mostly using at the moment. My Anaconda, it's like my personal favorite, and because this was a ship that I've spent a lot of time and effort to get right. I mean, the Anaconda is a very efficient miner, is a long story short, but I can't deny the efficiency of the new miner, the Type 11, which my personal version is the Deep Blue M for, well, medium. The long story short is it has specific modules that only it can equip that makes it a lot more efficient at mining. While my heart is with, Deep Blue, my Anaconda, I can't deny the efficiency of the Type 11, so when I'm in a hurry, I definitely use the Type 11, but when I'm in a more, shall we say, relaxed pace, I will still use my Anaconda. So, rawr. It is nice to be, heading back towards the bubble, because as much as I've enjoyed this event, there are parts of me that are like, I am looking forward in some ways going back to the bubble and doing things, because there are definitely things awaiting us in the future. Both, things that we might want to do, but also things that Frontier Development are also, well, developing that will probably be released close to upon our return. So, but having said all that, it's like, no, I definitely look forward to doing a lot more exploring and scanning things, and I'm actually really close to the final exobiology rank, so I have a feeling things are gonna pick up, probably if not this waypoint, probably soon, because the end is not necessarily in sight, but it's coming, and it's been relatively quiet for, the last couple waypoints, which again, I've appreciated because I can go and explore and do stuff, and I'm very much appreciative that the admins and the staff are aware of the calendar and that people just don't have huge amounts of time. I was going through the Discord and someone just happened to say, what I was thinking and feeling, that, oh, I feel like I'm cheating just sitting on the fleet carrier, and I posted, yeah, I mean, I kind of feel that way too, but, this is exactly what the fleet carriers are for. They're there to ferry us around and, for people who don't have time to do all these jumps and stuff, so that's what's great about this expedition this way, is that now you can participate however you want. If you want to, do everything yourself and not touch the fleet carriers, you can do that. But if you want to use the fleet carriers because you just want to, or you don't have time and stuff, then that's okay too. So, there's actually a subset of people who didn't even bring ships. They're just simply on foot on the carriers. So, I guess the other thing is, why am I deciding to basically do, all these jumps now? It's like, well, I'm kind of hoping that I get to the next waypoint just a little bit early, so I can, spend some time hoping to find the next tritium mining site for all the miners, because usually by the time I get an opportunity to mine, the buy orders are all filled, and so the best way that I might be able to help out is to go and find the next mining system. So we shall see. So, but in any case, It is nice to do these legs once in a while. I mean, to actually get to the base camp and land in it myself, so... And another nice thing about having all the fleet carriers is that now you can have more than one ship. Previous Distant Worlds expeditions, you could only bring one, because you can only use one ship at a time. Now you can bring basically as many ships as you want. I have 3 explorers, 2 miners, I brought ships that I'll probably never use, including some of my combat ships. This enables you to, have as many ships as you want, and, just change things up a little bit. Like, I've been using the Morning Star for a long time. It's kind of nice to use my Anaconda and, just do some really long distance jumping and stuff. So, again, that enables you to do multiple things. I can do exploring one day, mining another. I could pick a small fast ship and do some, fun flying through canyons and stuff. So, the possibilities are now in some ways, endless now, so I guess that's it for right now, and I hope that to continue doing these Commander's Log videos. I think it's good to log this adventure that we're all going on and stuff, and not only for, everybody, but even just for myself, because 5 years from now, when I begin the next Distant Worlds 3, I'll remember what happened on Distant Worlds 3. Really, a couple years from now, I may not even remember what I did on this expedition, but through these, I'll begin to remember them, so... So I have arrived at base camp, and, well, it's kind of dark here at the moment, but I'm sure once, the sun rises, I'm sure it will be lovely here. And I managed to find a tritium hotspot after searching many icy rings, and I was actually surprised that it took so long to find a tritium hotspot, but I managed to find one, so... So, there be tritium in there, them rings, so go ahead and have at it, miners! So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and until next time, this is Blue Star. Stay strong, and in this case, explore on! Blue Star out.